Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. We are closer, I think, than ever, even closer to a nuclear war than we've been in 1962, the Cuban Missile Crisis. And not only because now the destruction could be clearly total without any question, but I think the rhetoric and the threats or the hey, if you do this I'm going to do this, it's right there. We are, I think, in the 23rd hour, 59th minute, 58th second. So we got one more second. We have one more step before the Russians will drop a nuclear weapon on some. I mention this very often, and that is, I don't think they will do it. Not the Russians. I think the West will back off. When I said about the West, I'm talking about one or two countries. It's not the whole West. It's one guy and the rest are the vassals. So in this video, I will discuss why I changed, or how should I put it, I nuanced my state, or my view on the West will just realize that they have things to lose. You know, because that was my argument. Main argument was, well, the Russians will not. Or if the Russians will go and say, we're going to do this, it's an ultimatum, or if they're going to drop one nuclear weapon somewhere, the Western leaders will understand because they have a lot of things to lose, as I mentioned, as I used as an argument. I said, well, they have children, they worked hard, you know, to get to the positions of leadership of this planet. They have children at Yale or grandchildren at Harvard. No, they are all in this departments already appointed or elected. They don't want to lose this for Zelensky or Putin. That was my, I would say, human nature deterrent. They will say, for what? These guys can really destroy everything. Regardless, it's not going to be, yeah, we're going to hit you back. So if the Russians do this, we're going to hit them back. Yeah, and then where are you going to go? We're going to all go because of Zelensky or Putin or Ukraine or Ukrainians? No, they will say, that shit. Time to close the business. I think that was my argument. But I had a conversation with my very good cousin, Bogdan, and in the conversation, he made some interesting point. And I will tell you the point in this video. But first, I will show you, and the point adds why the West could use or could push Putin to use nuclear weapons. I know the argument before it was, well, these guys have bunkers, you know, they can hide, they have shelters and so on. The guys in charge who are pushing the buttons. Well, that was an argument then, you know. But my counter argument was, yes, but who's going to operate those bunkers? You need air, you need someone to work for you. Well, these guys are going to blow up everything. What are you going to do? Or at least the humans. So that means your slaves will not be around to toil for you. What are you going to do? And my cousin gave me a very interesting possible solution for not being human around. And I will show you. In the meantime, I will show you how these guys, in a few articles, how some idiots in the West seem to be careless. I have a cat here behind the camera, and he's going to come this way. Yeah, you're going to check on me? Come over here, meow meow. Not over that, because, all right, good, man, these guys are so intelligent. Yeah, smack me. I'm gonna go over there behind me because it's warm. You're gonna take a sleep over there. Oh no, just checking. We're gonna go up. And these guys are so smart and good. Why? Because if they do something bad, they do it instinctually, not like we humans. Where are you going? Oh, he lays down usually because it's leather, warm my back. And I have my air conditioning on, so obviously. Okay. On my back? What are you doing on my back? What are you doing there? Ow. All right. Stay there. Okay, so I'm going to show you a few videos where we have some Western leaders who are pushing against the Russian threat. Remember, Putin said, guys, that's it. You're going to do this. You're going to allow the Ukrainians, or you're going to hit us with long-range missiles inside Russia. That is, we can use nuclear weapons. That's it. And these guys now are saying try to find all kind of justification to do it. And I'm going to show you that, and then we're going to discuss to the counter-argument, which was a good point that my cousin made regarding why these guys could push in the West Yeah, do it, Putin. Why? You're not gonna affect us. You know who's gonna be affected? The baboons, which is those and you and I, because we're not baboons, obviously. We are super baboons. All right, let's go to this first article. This comes from Ukrainska Pravda. Ukraine's foreign minister explains why West should not fear Putin's threats. Remember, we're talking about nuclear weapons threat. We're not talking about a bullet or a condom or a dildo, none of those kind of threats. It's the nuclear warheads, nuclear bombs, missiles, how you want to call them. He's going to explain to you that, or to us, that Putin is just bluffing. Now, let's say Putin is not bluffing. Can I go and grab that guy by the balls and pull them out for him, if he has any? Can I do that? Is this guy going to be trialed and receive what he deserves for fucking us up? With don't worry about it? Because he's going to be responsible. Why? Because he's so certain that it will not happen. It's like go and gamble with your life. Or you gamble with, let's say, $3. With $3, you can take a chance. You can bluff. But with your life, well, it seems like he doesn't gamble with his life. I think he's gambling with your life and mine. And, your loved ones. Let's see this baboon. Ukraine's foreign minister, Andriy Sybiha, is convinced. You see, he's convinced. What if you make a mistake? Because he's going to bring us some interpretations, some stories, some narratives. Now, he's convinced that the allies should increase their support for Kiev despite Russian leader President Putin's threats, as he does nothing beyond talking. What if he does? What are we going to do to this guy? I have many ideas what we should do with him and his family and everybody else. We're going to appoint them as being, the professors of our future universities that will be not around and so on. What do you think? What do you think I have in mind? Only love, happiness, and a lot of fucking. All right, let's move on. The minister stressed that Putin's threats do not work. No, they don't. When he said he's going to go into Ukraine, it was just an empty threat. So Ukraine's allies should not fall for them. You see, this is his argument. His argument is Putin's threats do not work, so don't fall for them. So that is, you have a child and tell the child, you can go over there, get that little nail, put it in a little, outlet over there. They don't work. Based on what? Well, I tell you that they don't work. I'm certain. But that's a criminal right there. And he gives us a few examples. In the spring of 2022, Putin warned of unimaginable consequences if the West supplied Ukraine with defensive weapons. However, these guys pointed out that the weapons were delivered and Putin took no action. This kind of rhetoric have been repeated numerous times in recent years. Okay, well, that's true. In unimaginable consequences. For whom? It's like a football game. You're not in the minute 90 yet. This war is not over. The fact that I am still showing, I would say, restraint for the human race, which you don't, it doesn't mean that I'm not going to do it. It's just like I give you warnings. I give you, clues, hints. And you keep pushing. And these guys think this is going to work forever. It's a little saying in Romania. It goes like this. Ulciorul nu merge de multe ori la apă. That means the little, when you used to go before with a ceramic, to drink from the whatever you had, it doesn't go too many times. It's going to break at one point. So you can go and drink some water, but eventually you're going to, bling, fuck. It's going to, so lying or pushing around, they're going to have its limits. It can't always be the same. And these guys are escalating. Now, if you are eager or willing to take a chance because that guy tells you that example, which, yeah, it has a point, but think of many alternative points that you can make on the same things, like, hey, maybe these guys are just too rational and they are too threatened. Could that be? No. All right, you said the minister added that Putin has also threatened consequences over NATO enlargement, yet did nothing when Finland and Sweden joined. He said consequences will be we're going to beef up our defenses, we're going to put them at the border with Finland, over there, nicely prepared, closer to them, which before they didn't. That's the consequences now. And this guy's not imaginable. Do you think that it was imaginable that the Russians will hit Kiev and all that because of these guys' supplies? How many Ukrainians died? So it was imaginable, foreign minister? So that's unimaginable how many, but he plays how many deaths, How many refugees? What happened with Ukraine? So that's imaginable. That means for him that's okay. No, it's not okay. It's not okay whatsoever. So I think the regular bombardments with missiles on Kiev and other areas for these guys is imaginable. Well, he didn't use nuclear weapons. It doesn't mean that you go to that. And right now, if you're eager to take a chance, good luck. So these were his arguments. Next one, we got these baboons. NATO Military Committee Chair. Others back Ukraine's use of long-range weapons to hit Russia. So it doesn't mean that if you have a bunch of criminals, that means you're right. Remember, truth and being right is not based on a vote. Okay, let's see the pig is, I don't know, let's say purple. Well, let's give you another example. Let's say the pig flies. And we have 10 people here and we have one person over there. The person says, no, the pig doesn't fly on its own. And we all vote, yes, it does. What are you going to do? Is it true? No. Or let's take his money because he has too much. We decide. Let's vote. Pop, is that right? No. We vote, you vote against, but you're 1, we're 10. We must be right. You don't do justice like that. So the fact that you commit a crime in a group does not justify say, hey, there's too many, must be right. It's still wrong. So this guy says because too many people, too many other countries, how many? 5, 7, 20 out of how many? 193? So you're a tiny minority. So you're in a minority anyway. It doesn't mean that if these guys have a number, that means already we're going to do it. Yeah, we should do it. It's still wrong or still crazy because the Russians already told you what they will do. But they will push it. Why? They will have their bunkers. And not only that, my point is how you operate a bunker. And that is my cousin's point. And these imbeciles right here. Prague, the head of the NATO Military Committee, said Saturday that Ukraine has the solid legal and military right to strike deep inside Russia to gain combat advantage, reflecting the beliefs of a number of US allies. It's true. Every nation that is attacked has a right to defend itself. But Russia claims it was attacked by NATO by putting your weapons closer and closer and closer to their borders. Are you going to take that in consideration? No, they don't consider that as an argument. And remember this. Let's say I'm strong and tough and I'm the bad guy. Let's say I'm the bad guy. And I go and I want to slap that small guy over there, like Ukraine. Right? And I go over there and I can destroy the whole neighborhood here if I want. And in this neighborhood live other countries and so on. So I go and beat that guy up. And the guys come over here and say, you know what? That guy can destroy you with our weapons. And that's illegal. And I would say, yeah, it's legal, but I don't want to lose. So what are we going to do? How about I don't care about your legality because your legality you violated so many times and I'm going to fuck everybody up. So you are between, hey, being legal and shooting me. And the other option is you being legal and shooting me and everybody else blow the shit up. Which one are you going to pick? Yeah, you're right, but I'm going to blow everything up. What are you going to do? You're going to say, well, we were always truthful and always followed the law, international law and so on. No, that's a lie. Therefore, a little bit slower over there. It doesn't mean that two wrongs make a right. But the Russians can say, yeah, you can say whatever you want. These are the consequences. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Can you beat the guys? They already told you they're going to blow you up. What are you going to do? All right, next one. So these are the military. You got the next one. UK Foreign Minister Lemy plays de Lemy because he's French. De Lemy plays down Putin's threats. Again, this guy says that Russian president accused Russian president of bluster Sunday over his warning that letting Ukraine use will put Russia and NATO at war. Tensions and this is what this guy says. I think that what Putin is doing is throwing dust up in the air. There's a lot of bluster. That's his modus operandi. He threatens about tanks, he threatens about missiles, he threatens about nuclear weapons. You got that? So this imbecile, together with the other imbecile, they're telling us, hey, it's just don't worry. Like the same, this guy right here, the same, this guy right here. And I have one more, actually two more. This is what the Russians said they will do. All right? But hey, it's just dust in the air. Independent. Starmer, the Prime Minister of Great Britain, appointed because he was not elected directly. Starmer stares down Putin as he and Biden prepare to hand Ukraine missiles. So they are staring down as John F. Kennedy looked into Khrushchev's eyes and Khrushchev blinked like a maiden. That was not so, but that's how the garbage goes around here, right? So he stares down. So that means, take it easy, we're gonna fuck the Ruskies up, man. Yeah, man, give me a pint of Guinness or something. All right, let's move on. And the last article before I discuss something else, political. Starmer and Biden brush off Putin's threats of war. You see that? Okay, brush off. Now, I think I made my point that these guys have no problem. Why? Because they probably all have places to go and hide. Now, let's say tomorrow the Russians are doing what they do. And my point was, I said, well, I don't want to do it because, they have this and that. But my cousin said, well, isn't there maybe a connection between AI and the fact that they want certain things operated by AI and not by humans? So his point was, they don't need humans anymore. If they get ahead and they have the ability to use, computers or things that operate themselves, which eventually could turn around and fuck them up, because that's how it's going to be a self-creating monster eventually. So how about that? So I said, well, I didn't even think about that. So that means if these guys create, let's say, windmills and generators and everything without humans being needed to push buttons, open doors, start cycle of this, sending over there, transmitting, communicating, and it's going to be all AI. It's going to be something on its own. They don't need us anymore. They don't need us. And I don't think they don't need us. But it takes time until the AI gets to that position where these guys really don't need us and going to have those guys doing what these guys are telling them. We're going to get to that position. Are they over there right now? No, but I think they are at self-generated, because if something happens here and they come out after, 2 years from their bunkers, let's say, and there's nobody around, someone has to work for them. But if they have things already set up with who's in charge, some computers, AI, let's say, what are they going to do? They don't need humans. They're not at that point. But could that be one of these guys? Because remember, if something happens over there, they will be in a few minutes, or not even, in their bunkers. You and I will be here blown up, as my cousin said. So I think he's very much right about that one. So here is my friends. These guys, as I said, I enlarge my view on these guys really will back off. Maybe they will not back off. Why? Because they will not be affected. You and I will be affected. Your children will be affected. My children, my grandchildren, your grandchildren, if we get there. All right, and the same on the other side. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.